There, this is Art and Such with part 2 of my rainbow loom tutorial for Brian Griffin from Family Guy. Oops. And in part 1 we got our pieces ready on the loom. I've rearranged mine a little. I'll suggest something similar. You'll want to have your arms and your tail closest to the end of a hook. Your nose is the last thing you'll be putting on, so that goes further down if you can move your pieces around it. And then your ears and your legs and here's my other arm can be accessible in any order really. And your eyes are probably just sitting on the side right now. If you were waiting to see how to make it with bands, we'll get to that now. This is another technique from DIY Mummy. And for this, for each eye, what you would do is wrap a white twice on one side. And you can wrap a black band 3 times or more times. I'm only going to do it 3 here, I'll show you why in a minute. And then wrap the white another 2 or 3 times on the other side. And the reason I haven't wrapped my black band more is because this way it can be pulled through the back of the head with your hook later, and it will appear to be a smaller pupil. Alright, so that is one option. Another thing you can do if that looks complicated, or you just, want something a little easier and more something to contrast with the white better, you could just take a single black and wrap that about 4 times onto your hook. So this would serve as one eye, or you could do it with the white and that would be one eye. And you would make a second of these, second eye. And then both of these would then be pulled onto a single white. And you would apply them, put them on the loom the same way we would our beads. So that is my best alternate suggestion to you if you don't have beads handy. If you do have pony beads, those are okay. A smaller bead will be a little neater though. Alright, so we are all set. We've got all our components except a simple side extension chain, which we'll be making shortly. But let's start putting things on the loom here. These are all double white bands, so 2 at a time. We're coming down either direction from the top peg to the top on the side, down either side with 3 sets of double bands, down from your 4th side to your 5th middle with double bands. Then we're coming down from the 5th middle to the 5th side, and from the 5th middle to the 5th left here, and 4 sets of double bands down the middle. Now the next thing that I want to do is close up the face, and before we close up the bottom we're going to put on our feet. So double bands again. We're coming down just to where the neck is, and then we'll get our feet on and we can go from there. Alright. This is my arm. Just going to move this to my other hook for now. I still didn't get these in the right order. Alright. Well, you're going to have 4 loops on your hook from your foot. This is the thicker piece. You're going to put 2 of those loops on the side here, 5th from the bottom, where you finished putting your white bands on. The other 2 are going to come down diagonally to the 4th from the bottom on the center. I'm not trying to confuse you by listing all of this, but I will put this on and give you a look, and that might help. I'm more of a visual learner myself, but I sometimes find it's easier for me to concentrate if I can hear out and look and loom at the same time. We're going to take the other foot and bring it down from the other side. If this is too hard to get to on your hook right now, you can put the next piece on and then come right back to this. That's fine too. My order always gets confused no matter how hard I try. We're going to put the tail on next, and for that we need to close up some more of the body. We're going to come down with 3 sets of double white bands. And for this, 4 sets, one more time, till you just have the space, one gap here. And then you're going to get your tail. And you should have 4 bands on your hook again. 2 of them are going to go onto the bottommost center peg, and 2 will go onto that peg above, and it will close up that gap. And try very hard to keep those in the right order. Shouldn't be too hard, but okay, push that down. We can put our arms on. Those go on the 5th peg down on either side. And the ears are going to go on the top peg on either side. So if that's closer to the top of your hook, you can put those on first if you would prefer. Just transferring all of those bands off of the hook. And now for the ears, as I said, those go on the top peg on the left and the top peg on the right. And try to tilt it downwards as much as you can, because his ears kind of sit low. Alright, we can put some holding bands on the lower body, and then we'll make our side extensions. We can do our face. And these are triangle bands using single bands. I'm coming from each of these side pegs across and up over the one in the center, and there are 4 here, 4 triangles starting with the peg below the arm. I'm gonna put a cap over the bottom middle here by twisting a band. I'm gonna try for 4 times. We are gonna make side extension. This is optional, but if you want a little more roundness, you can do this. I didn't do a belly extension this time, but you can check out some of my other videos or the Simpsons characters by Looming with Cheryl to learn how to do that if that is of interest to you. I'm just going to do a side chain to make it a little bit wider. So for that, we take a single, wrap it twice, and pull it over 3 sets of double bands. Now the bottom of this chain is going to go over that 5th peg from the bottom where we have our legs on. Oops. And the top ones are going to go on the peg just under the arm. We want to kind of pull this in, so we're going to take a band out, a single out of each chain, and pull it over each of those 2 pegs that are sort of in the middle there. We're going to make another chain for the other side. Single, wrap twice, pulled onto 3 sets of double white bands. Once more, we'll take the top part and put it on the peg right below the arm, and the bottom cap here is going to go onto that leg peg, 4th from the 5th up from the bottom on the side. We're going to take a band out of each set and pull it over. Oh, I put that one too high. Over each of those 2 pegs underneath. We can start getting the rest of our face together. So we're going to start with 2 single triangle cap bands from the 4th down to the 4th down and up over the center 4th. 1 above that. I'm going to take a little note from Kate Schultz from Isalicious and twist a band 3 times before placing it from my 2nd on the left to the 2nd on the right, which will hopefully help keep the eyes level. And now you can put your eyes on to those same pegs, the 2nd and the 2nd down. And what I actually did is I stretched, slippery this time. I'm going to separate the eyes. I'm going to stretch all of this over so that his eyes sit right near the top of his head. Okay, we are ready to start looping. Our last piece that we will have to add on is the nose, but we're going to stop partway through the face to do that. So the first thing we need to do is get under the foot, or sorry, under the cap by the foot, and find the top two bands, which are our tail bands, and those should be coming from above and going back to the top. Remember when I said the hard part was done? Okay, this is going to be a tricky one. You need to be very careful for this section. Make sure that you're getting the right bands and that they're coming back to where they came from. So first two are going up. Second three I believe we're looking for are coming to the right. Push that down a little. And then the last one should be going onto the left leg area here. Now you can pick any of these columns to loop up. I'm going to go up the center first. And I'm going to stop at the neck peg, which is the 5th peg from the top. Oops, oh dear. Almost lost them there. Okay. Now I'm going to come back under here, and I'm looking for only the 2 bands which are coming from the peg above. You can hold them up with your hand if it helps. I'm going to push back all these other bands and find those bottom 2 and carefully lift them up over around the peg above. We're going to repeat that and get the bottom 2, loop them up. And push back your triangle band, get the bottom 2 and up, last 2 and up, and now you're looking for these bands coming from the neck. We're going to retrieve those and bring them back. I've got 1, I need 1 more. Push those down, and then let's come back to the other side. And we're going to come up the other side. Same thing, get only your bottom 2 bands. We're looping straight up to our arm piece, where our arm piece is, and then inwards from that shoulder section here. I'm just going to turn this way so I can see it, and inwards. Alright, let's try and find our next 2 bands, which should be going upwards. This might take a little bit of fiddling here. I think I'm going to get the first couple for us and then meet you back for part 2. Let me try it one more time here. Oh, I think we got them. Okay, the next 2 bands, the next 2 bands are coming to the right side. That feels like too many. Really take your time with this. You want to make sure you get the right bands. Okay, we're going to come up one more time in the center and twice on either side, and then we're going to be adding our nose. Push back your extra bands and upwards, oops, and upwards on this side 2 times. And I will see you back for part 3. We're almost done. We're just going to add the nose and get the collar on, get him off the loom. We're almost done. I'll see you right back for part 3.